Washington versus Michigan. Wait, whoa. That's not right. That's not okay. Yeah, Tennessee and Florida is our game of the week. Yep, Florida State pulls out the big upset, 29-16. Big upset. And I really wish I picked this their game of the week, but it is our game of the week now. It is now, and I'm going to completely ignore I picked Washington versus Michigan State. I guess the more I talk about it, the more that people won't forget, and I won't forget. But people forget that I picked that as the game of the week. Anyway, yeah, let's take a look at the total comparisons. Yeah. 300, yeah. Tennessee had more yardage, more passing, but Florida had more rushing. But I think the reason, well, not completely the reason, but Tennessee did have 1 turnovers. Penalties were a big problem for Tennessee, yeah. The offense was not bad for Tennessee. They couldn't run the ball. Where was Tennessee running ball in that game? I gotta say that. Where was that? All right. Cupcakes bringing in the upset here on Tuesday, September 19th. And I got some weekend scoreboards for you. Yeah, this game. Let's quickly talk about this. Washington put a beat down on Michigan State, 41-7. Yeah, I know. I made this the game of the week. Wish I did Tennessee and Florida. Yeah, my fault. And can I take that back? This is not our game of the week. Tennessee and Florida was. But the other Florida team had a close one too. But they did win though, but only won by 3 points, 31-29. Boston College showed up. Yeah, it was a home game. It was a home game for Boston College. So the fans were into it. I think they played a major impact on keeping it close with Florida State. But Florida State Boston College Florida State had the lead majority of the game. It's just Boston College just hanging around and not going away. That's the main part. But just keep a note that Florida State was on the road here. Florida State was on the road here, which is hard to do. All right. Alabama on the road here, but they're Alabama. No matter where they play, it's a home game for them. South Florida was tied 3-3 at halftime with Alabama. That's the W. South Florida won this game. I don't care what the end results were. South Florida won. Yeah, because you kept Alabama under 30 points against non-conference team. Not only a non-conference team, a group of 5 team. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. Well done, South Florida. South Carolina, on the other hand, had a chance to do something awesome. Take down number 1 Georgia, like I've been saying that they would go down early on. I picked South Carolina to win this game. It almost happened. It was tied 14-14 at halftime. But then Georgia got things rolling in the second half. It totally took over at the end of the game. Georgia won 24-14. South Carolina with 0 points in the second half. All right, and then double overtime. Coach Prime, the media have been hyping him up all week long. They're at home. They're playing a winless Colorado State game. Game day, big noon went down there. And then they go to double overtime when they were a 24-point favorite. They went 43-35. And then the fans stormed the field. Embarrassing. That is completely, and I gotta say, the most embarrassing thing in college football, the most embarrassing fan in college football this week are the Colorado fans for rushing the field. When you're a 24-point favorite and you go to double overtime against a winless team. A team that was more physical, played better, a team that probably should have won the game. I gotta say that. Another team that was more physical was Old Dominion. They showed up at home, but they didn't get the win, though, once again. But Wake Forest barely hanging on and winning the game 27-24. I got to say, Wake Forest hanging in there. They're just living on the edge. BYU's also living on the edge. BYU's having the time of their life right now. I really had no idea who was going to win this game. This is probably one of the hardest games to pick this weekend. I think I picked BYU to win. I'm not exactly sure, but if I did, woo! Yeah, 38-31. What a win for BYU. What a win for the Big 12 as we're starting conference play next week. Yeah, I got a big show playing for Man Game Day as and I'm going to break down how conference did against non-conference. Speaking of Big 12 conference, new teams, Houston's very first Big 12 game at home against TCU. They had a chance. They were in the game, but then TCU got things together. They figured out how to play in the second half in winning 36-13. Scoreboard might say TCU dominated that game. It was not a dominant game. TCU did not win that big. Houston was in that game. I want you all, don't forget, Houston had a chance to take down TCU here. Houston was in this game. It's just TCU knows how, from last year, knows how to pull off, come from behind and know how to take over the second half. Oklahoma, on the other hand, I don't know what happened last week against SMU, but they are back after they had probably one of the most perfect games. They were more than perfect. 5 interceptions. One of them was a pick 6. They have multiple fumbles. They got about a couple of fumbles. I mean, the turnover ratio was huge in this game. Oklahoma won 66-17 against a game that I thought would be close. I thought it would be just as close as it was against SMU. Anyway, good news for Oklahoma fans. For those of you who are worried about barely beating SMU, well, they shut out Prairie View A&M 69-0. Yeah, and Oklahoma's not in the top 10. Oh, okay. Oklahoma's not in the top 10 after that performance. Well, they have Cincinnati this week. We'll see how that thing goes. Oh, Cincinnati lost Saturday. We got an upset alert coming up for Cincinnati, but first, we got a player of the week to talk about. Mark Nimbles, LSU wide receiver. He got the ball 13 times for 239 yards. His longest play was for 48. Got 2 touchdowns, and they're playing Arkansas next week. And I got to say, Arkansas, take notes because he's going to be a playmaker. LSU, if you didn't know, LSU beat Mississippi State. It was a total beatdown. It was not even close at all. He had a day, and if he plays like that next week, Arkansas is not going to have a chance. LSU probably going to have a chance to win the SEC if he continues to play like that. That was trash. Alright, we got some week 3 that was trash for you. Number 4, you make the call. Colorado State player, just a little shove for the Colorado player. It was called unnecessary penalty, a personal foul, and it cost Colorado State third overtime. Yeah, number 3, Old Dominion tried to place a defense against Wake Forest, and what are you doing? You're playing Old Dominion. Oh, fumble. Oh, he scoops it up. Oh, he is gone. No, Wake Forest players ahead of him. That's a stupid score for Old Dominion. And guess what? Wake Forest barely won that game. Number 2. Yeah, this flip. So you guy. Yeah, OU player. Yeah. touches me, he does an amazing flip. He must do gymnastics. He said, can I get a call, please? Yeah, that's his reaction to it. All right, Tennessee and Florida, number 1. Florida's going to take a quick knee. No, he's going to drag it all out and wait for the final seconds. Oh, no, he got knocked over. Should that even be a flag? Anyway, we got a fight going on. Watch number 76 down at the bottom. He's going to punch this Tennessee player. Ooh, yeah. And then we on the right of the screen, we got 2 players throwing up fish. Yeah. Woo! Upset alert time! Missouri takes down Kansas State, 30-27. Missouri beat them so badly that they knocked them out of the AP rankings. No, it wasn't that bad. They just beat them by a field goal. But Missouri rushed the field. Now, see, Colorado fans, take notes. They beat a ranked team on a field goal winning win. That deserves to be rushing the field. Take notes, Colorado. Take notes. Missouri deserves to rush the field on that. What a win. And also, Kansas State, won the Big 12 last year. And they have majority of the same players coming back. That is a big upset to remember. Well done, Missouri. Well done. Iowa State, on the other hand, Matt Kimball is on the hot seat for October when I do my hot seat show because they lost to Ohio 10-7. No offense whatsoever by Iowa State. Where was the offense? Well, Ohio certainly didn't have it either. They only put up 10 points. But what do I know? I'm not a coach. Vanderbilt, man, what happened to Vanderbilt? I had so much hype for Vanderbilt this year. I know I'm not expecting Vanderbilt to win the SEC, but come on. I thought we would have Vanderbilt football pulling up big upset. I thought Vanderbilt might finally go to a bowl game this year. UNLV, congrats. You're going to a bowl game this year. You beat Vanderbilt. How do you put up 37 points and still lose? Anyway, Cincinnati, after probably having a big win last week over Pittsburgh, they lose to Miami. I think it went to overtime at home, 31-24. Cincinnati, You're playing in the Big 12 now. You got Oklahoma this week. Do better. And then our big game of the week, our big upset of the week. Tennessee versus Florida. Tennessee no longer in the top 10. They're at 23 now. Florida is now ranked. I hope. Please be in the top 15. Or at least in the top 20. They win 29-16. All right, our player of the upset, Trevor. I'm not even going to pronounce his last name. Running back on Florida. He had 23 carries, 172 yards, a 62-yard touchdown. Yeah, it's the only touchdown of the game. And he was zooming past all the Tennessee defenders. Yeah, even Tennessee didn't do that bad on defense, but they couldn't not stop number 7 at all. Nah, Tennessee had not a chance, especially when Tennessee has no offense, when they were known for having offense last year. So, Josh Heupel, your offense is now on the hot seat. Anyway, like I've been saying all offseason, look out for Florida. They'll pull up a big upset. I picked Florida to win that game, and I got it right. And that's not our biggest upset of the week. This is South Alabama. Got paid $30,000 to lose to Oklahoma State, and they said, well, you have to play if you want us to lose. They went 33-7. Yeah. All right, overrated and underrated time. It's the OV. I gotta say, it was a really, really tough decision for me. I don't know who to pick. So I went with two underrated teams this week, Colorado and Alabama. Colorado definitely way, way overrated. Yes. Yeah, I do admit they are a good team. Coach Prime really changed that team. But do they deserve to be ranked? No. No. At all. They do not deserve to be ranked at all. Yes, they are a good team. They'll win the game. They might go to bowl game, but they don't have a chance at winning the Pac-12. I mean, like, almost every team in the Pac-12 is ranked now. Unbelievable. So, yeah, in Alabama, I mean, yeah, Colorado is probably likely going to be in the top 10 soon enough, but shortly after when Pac-12 starts, they'll be out of the rankings in no time. Alabama, on the other hand, well, I mean, the AP did drop them, but not enough. I mean, this might be Nick Saban's worst year. And I gotta say, Alabama's not even that bad. My underrated team. Two teams, I couldn't even decide. I had two teams as well. I mean, I picked two overrated. I gotta do two underrated. Florida and Oklahoma. Florida is totally way underrated. Oklahoma is totally way underrated. Florida and Oklahoma has had no media talk at all this year. Both of them are dominating their games right now. Come on, all they want to be talked about. Florida beat Tennessee. Maybe they'll start getting respect. Oklahoma beat SMU. That put up 69 points. They got Cincinnati this week. Iowa State coming up, in Texas. Did they beat Texas and still don't get talked about? Damn, what is wrong with the media? Sorry about that, but still, I mean, what is wrong with the media right now? Boy. Yeah, that's my overrated and underrated team. All right. How to do a pick 'em this week? I feel great. I think I feel really great this week. I did amazing. I went 8 for 2. That's the best I've done in 1 week in 3 years. It's been a long time since I've had a good week. 44 points. 123 points total. 123. 123. 20 for 10. Or 20 and 10. And I gotta say, it would have been 9-1 if South Carolina didn't blow it. I don't remember what the other loss was, but wow, I did really good. I even got Tennessee and Florida. And guess what? Total combined points, I guess 45 points. Bring up the bottom line. Total points, 45. Oh, you remember what I did last year, week 1? I guess the correct total points. All the other weeks, I was way off. I did it again. Not only was I could see if I'm maybe a couple of points off, but I was right on the dot. And then my spread, I guessed 59. Which, again, I know I said I would stop guessing so close, but I was pretty close there, too. 45, okay. I said I was going to start guessing way off. I was a little off there. But anyway, I got it right on my pick'em. Anyway, to skip the spread, I went 7 for 3. Season, I'm 19 for 11 with 109 points. And, ESPN didn't even do a spread for Tennessee and Florida in their pick'em. So I might as well just throw up my Colorado State and Colorado game because that was the main talking point. Yeah. 22.5 point favored. I picked Colorado State. I was right. Take that. All right, let's look at some NFL headlines for you. First up, we got the Browns' #1 running back, Nick Chuba, had a season-ending injury on his knee. Monday night, he was carted off the field. A sad moment for NFL players after he was he was a good player, and he had the same injury back in college. and took him all the way until like basically this year, worked his way back up to being a great football player. All right, let's check out some scoreboard recaps for you. The Falcons put up a good win over the Packers, 25-24. What a surprising win. The Falcons are a team that we'll look out for in the NFL this year. The Packers, what happened to you? I know you lost Aaron Rodgers, but you're supposed to be, better than the Falcons. Come on. All right, Ravens versus the Bengals. This is a good game to watch. You watched it, it was entertaining. Ravens ended up winning 27-24. And I got to say, Ravens, wow. What a win. Joe Burrow, not the game he wanted to do. I actually think he got... I didn't see much of the game. I did just see highlights, and I did hear that Joe Burrow got injured. You may have to fact check me on that. I know I'm probably going to get this one wrong, but I think Joe Burrow got injured, and last I heard is he might not be able to play next week. It's questionable for next week. The Lions and the Seahawks went to overtime. Yeah, the Lions... Yeah, what happened to the Lions defense there? I thought they were supposed to have one of the best defense in the NFL. Not the best defense, but one of the best. Well, the Seahawks put up 37 points on them, and they went to overtime and won. So, Seahawks are, if Lions really have the best defense, the Seahawks are going to be a dangerous team this year in the NFL. All right, next game. We got the Chargers versus the Titans. This one's going to be really an interesting one. I know it really wasn't that big of a game, but this one also went to overtime. This game tells us a lot. It tells us, are the Titans for real? Are they going to be great this year? Chargers especially. They're kind of in the mid. Well, Titans won 27-24. Is this going to be Titans' year? Probably not. I think they lost their first game last week. But I don't remember who they're playing next week. There's so many games to keep track of. But, Titans, not their year. Chargers, not their year. Since they both basically went to overtime. But, Titans won on a field goal 27-24. Saints and the Panthers. This game was a fun one to watch last night. Monday Night Football got a little crazy. I was expecting the Saints and the Panthers to be the only entertaining game tonight. But boy, were they both entertaining and both got good at the end. Saints won 20-17. Panthers got it was actually kind of boring. The second game, the game that I thought would be boring one, it was actually the more entertaining game. But the Saints ended up beating the Panthers 20-17. Bryce Young, great at Alabama in college football, but he's got some work to do. The Browns and the Steelers. The Steelers got a pick six on the first play of the game, and it led them to win 26-22. It was a back-and-forth game, but the Steelers hold the lead majority of the game and ended up winning that game. And I got to say, to end Monday Night Football and end the game in the week with probably an unexpected game, it was the more entertaining game. It was probably the more entertaining game of the week. And Deshaun Watson, well, I think the Browns were better off with Baker Mayfield. I'll just say that. All right, got some college football headlines for you. Michigan State is now thinking of firing Mel Tucker because, some for reasons I'm not going to mention that I'm sure you all know. But if you haven't heard the news, go look at the story. I'm surprised he hadn't gotten fired already. Anyway, I also knew that before. So, Michigan State's going downhill. I am now, after the way they lost to Washington, I'm now expecting them to be at the bottom of the Big Ten. Colorado State, if you didn't see that game, you probably, and if you didn't see it, you probably heard about that big hit. Well, that player, Henry Blackburn, himself and his family have been receiving death threats. And his phone number and address and his family address were leaked. And it was a kind of a dirty hit. I don't really think of it that of a dirty. I mean, the player was still in bounds, but took Colorado's best receiver out of the game and probably out for the season. So, that's going on. And 9.3 million viewers watched the game on ESPN that night. That was the new record for late for Pac-12 after dark. And I gotta say, it was entertaining up until the call at the end. If you didn't see it earlier, go check out That Was Trash. One of the play I was talking about, the penalty call I was not happy about. Check out that play. I even circled the player and everything. You might want to go back and watch it if you missed that. Also, the last thing, Jaden Morrow, I probably really messed up his name, but anyway, I'm going to move on. It has been named the starting quarterback for Alabama to open up SEC play Saturday, and they are going to be playing Ole Miss, so that's a biggie for him. Not only is he going to be starting in the SEC opening for Alabama and Nick Saban, but it also gets Ole Miss. And that's going to be, he's got some work to do because Ole Miss has got one of the most scoring offense in the SEC. So if Alabama defense can keep up, he's got a lot of scoring to do and a lot of work. And the last one, if you didn't see it was on That Was Trash too, the last one I showed, but the brawl at the end of the Tennessee and Florida game, 4 players involved in that were the SEC suspended them, which I don't even know why. I mean, maybe it was those 2 players that I circled, but I think it was self-defense. I really don't even see anything wrong about it except for a little. I just saw 2 punches, and I don't even think that was much of a punch. I think it was much more of a push. But anyway, you can. And That Was Trash is actually that clip will be uploaded later on tonight too. All right, let's check out my rankings. I got some new graphics for my rankings this year. At number 25, I got Syracuse. 24, North Carolina. 23, Kansas State. 22 is Texas A&M, and number 21 is Ole Miss. Yep, there my new graphic. Kansas State falling down deep. Still think they're good enough. I won the Big 12 last year. Got the same roster. I'm expecting them to make some noise in the Big 12. Syracuse, I like the way they've been played. Ole Miss moves up. I know a lot of you are going to say, well, you've had North Carolina at 24 this whole season. Yeah, well, I haven't seen much from North Carolina. They play great. They win their games, but they've also had their mistakes. I need to see more from North Carolina if they want to move up. All right, number 20, I got Miami. Number 19, I got Washington. Yeah, I still have Washington there. I still need to see more from Washington. At 18, I got Oregon State. Number 17, I got Iowa. Finally, some offense from them. Yeah, and I got to say, even though we're finally seeing offense from them, their offensive coordinator still coaching jobs on the line because apparently they're not even scoring enough, apparently. And Clemson is at 16. Yeah, Clemson really only had that bad game. That's really it, just that bad game. Clemson, not WSU's best team, but not bad. Definitely deserved to be ranked, and the rest, of them move on. All right, let's look at the rest. My top 15, this is where it looks really good and really interesting. Number 15, I still got Tennessee. Florida at 14, yep. LSU at 13, USC at 12, and number 11 is Notre Dame. And some of you are probably like, well, Tennessee lost. Why do you have them far that? Well, Florida also has a loss, too, and Tennessee's not even that bad. Tennessee's got to figure out how to run the ball. That's about it. Well, and play defense a little bit, but still, Tennessee, if they figure out how to run the ball and keep their defense off the field, they can get back to what they were known as last year. They won't be last year, but still have a chance at maybe taking down some good SEC teams. And let's look at the top 10. Yep, number 10. Well, again, I'll talk about the top 6 next. Number 10, I got Alabama. Number 9 is Oregon. Number 8, I got Utah. And number 7 is Oklahoma. Yeah, I could have Alabama. A lot of you are probably thinking, well, you're kind of following the AP now. You have Alabama with number 10 last week. They dropped to 13. Now you put them at 10 this week. Alabama's still a good team. I really think that obviously Alabama defense is the reason why I had them still in the top 10. Their offense, I think Nick Saban will get their offense figured out, and I think they will. They're switching up their quarterbacks, and I think they will have it. And also, I got Oklahoma up there. Oklahoma's not even in the top 15. They're at number 16 on AP. Number 1, number 2 is no surprise for you. And number 3, also not a surprise. Not much movement. Texas, I still have them at 6. A little struggle to Wyoming, but they finished their job. Penn State at 4 and Michigan at 5. So I have no movement in my top 6. But we got some good games this weekend. So teams will be there will likely be a couple changes in this graphic next week. All right, let's look at the AP top 6. Did the AP have any movement in their top 6? They sure did. What changes did they make? Well, the graphic is still loading right now. Come on. Yeah, here we go. Here's the graphic. Yeah, rankings comparison compared to the AP. Number 1, they have Georgia. Of course they do. Number 2, they have Michigan. Not surprised there. Michigan's been dominant, even without Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher is, coming back next week. They moved Texas up to number 3 after barely beating Wyoming. Ohio State still at 6. They flipped Florida State down. Florida State had the road game, won it close. Texas had the home game and struggled, but they did pull out at the end. And USC is still at 5. That is your AP rankings, and I gotta say, compared to 2, I gotta say not bad, not bad. Oh, and I wanted to notice anything. I've updated this graphic too. It no longer says 2023. It says 2024 now. I almost forgot to change that. All right, AP notes. Florida is now in the rankings. They're only at 25. That's a head scratcher right there. Kansas State falls out of the rankings. But Oregon, Oklahoma, North Carolina, and Duke all go up. They're 4 spots. And then Tennessee goes down 12. And they're all the way down at 23. Yeah, Oregon's in the top 10 now. And North Carolina and Duke, yeah, the 2 Blue Bell basketball schools are back-to-back and right next to each other, looking great. Yeah, and Oklahoma's just ahead of them, too. Oklahoma's not really a basketball school, but, they're hanging in with them, too, as well. All right, let's take a look at what's going around the network here on Busy Sports. American Game Day is Saturday at 10 a.m., our flagship show. It's a good show. I got a good full show. It's going to be like a 45-minute show, maybe almost an hour show. So get ready for that. And then on Monday, I got Slateport Podcast breaking down a big weekend of college football. A lot of good games. And then October, we're just a couple weeks away from Debatable from our big college football playoff rankings coming out. And then to recap, a big weekend of college football more, Down and Distance, every Tuesday at 6. And if you haven't already, check out our website for the latest news, scores, stats, etc. A lot of good things going on here on Busy Sports Network. All right, we got some games to talk about. So weekday games, there's just one good game on Friday, 6 o'clock on FS1. Got your week 4 games to watch. It's going to be 73 degrees, a little cloudy, but Wisconsin versus Purdue. It's going to be an important game for these two because Wisconsin just fell out of the rankings. They're looking to work themselves back in on the road. Purdue, what's going on with Purdue? They used to be at the top, but they're at home. But I really feel like Wisconsin is going to get their act together, and I really think this is going to be an important win for them. They're going to come in hungry and win the game on the road. All right, here's some other big games to pay attention to. Yeah, we got Florida State and Clemson. I was going to make this the game of the week, but Double Sweeto, for some reason, forgot how to play football. Or coach it, I guess. He doesn't listen to the transfer portal. He just focused on recruiting. Not even doing that well, so Florida State, it's all Florida State at noon on ABC. It's going to be a big game. It's going to be hype. Clemson, they're at home. They will show up. It will be close. But Florida State, I think that's the reason why Florida State struggled last week. I think they are really preparing for this game. But Florida State will definitely, both these teams will show up. Another big one. I was really debating on this one making our game of the week, but nope, it's not this one. Colorado versus Oregon, 19 versus 10, 2:30 on ABC. This is going to be a huge one to pay very, very close attention to this one because Oregon is at the top of the Pac-12. Colorado, well, they got Coach Prime. They got all the hype with them. And it's going to be a great one to watch. And then we got Ole Miss and Alabama, 15 versus 13, 2:30 on CBS. Yep. Nope, this one is not our game of the week either. Yeah, this is another good. Where were all these good ones? They should have had. They saved all the games last week for this week. So, if you thought last week was boring, well, they were saving it for this week. Ole Miss and Alabama. We're about to see what Alabama really is potentially made out of this week, and if Ole Miss could fix their defense, because that's something Lane Kiffin really struggles to see, was hired down there. UCLA and Utah, 2:30 on Fox, 22 versus 11. Nope. This is not our game of the week either. Don't worry. We'll get to our game of the week in just a minute. But UCLA and Utah. This is going to be a good one. Utah won the Pac-12 last year. They're looking to go back-to-back. UCLA is getting better and better. I don't have UCLA ranked, but don't sleep on UCLA yet. And then we got Oregon State versus Washington. 6 o'clock on Fox. 14 versus 21. Nope, this isn't our game of the week either. And there's a lot of people thinking College Game Day should have went to this one. Yeah, I know. There are a lot of good ones, but this is an important one for the Pac-12 because these are the two teams that are just out of the Pac-12. I mean, looking for a new conference. All right, what game did we leave out? Well, Notre Dame Stadium is where we're going to. Ohio State and Notre Dame is our game of the week. 6:30 on NBC. Number 6 versus 9. Yeah, this one is a big one. This one is a huge one because mainly I've been hyping up Ohio State all off season long. All season, basically. Ohio State is the number 1 team, but a lot of you say they really haven't looked like that. Well, they're on the road. If they win this game on the road, 100% they are the number 1 team right now. But if they lose, well, then it's going to be Florida State. Either it's going to be Georgia, Florida State, or Michigan as the number 1 team. We'll just see how it goes. But Notre Dame, yeah, if they win this game on the road at home, that improves their resume, and they might possibly jump in the top 10 in my rankings, and AP might even have them in the top 4. Yeah, probably not top 4, probably top 5, definitely in the top 6. All right, that's all for my 40-minute show of Down and Distance, the longest of the season. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.